Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Fantasy Pros Football Podcast. This is a short form video with myself, Pat Fitzmaurice, and Debro. We are talking about some running back busts. We're just going to throw a couple of names your way as we get early into kind of the draft prep season. Quick reminder for everybody that all of our 2025 consensus rankings and tiers can be found at fantasypros.com/rankings. And if you want a chance to win a signed Nico Collins Texans jersey for free, courtesy of our friends at pristineauction.com, all you have to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now, drop a comment below on any video, and that is it. We will be announcing a winner right here on the channel, so make sure to turn on those notifications so you can know when new videos are up and to claim your prize. Guys, you each came here with 2 running back busts for this season. These are guys that are inside the top 24 at the position in those early rankings. Again, fantasypros.com/rankings. Fitz, start us off with your first running back bust this year.
It's Breece Hall. And I do think Breece Hall is a talented and versatile running back, and I happen to think the Jets could have one of the better offensive lines in the league this season. So what's the hang-up? Well, new Jets head coach Aaron Glenn is all but carrying around a neon sign that spells out RBBC, running back by committee. And Greg Branos, the founder of the Coach Speak Index account on Twitter, has done a really good job of collecting Aaron Glenn quotes about the Jets backfield, which include, quote, "I would say that we have 3 running backs on this team that we're going to utilize as much as possible," end quote. Quote, "It could be a 1-2-3 punch with the guys we have," end quote. Quote, "If we can get them all on the field at one time, we'll do that," end quote. It sounds like Braylon Allen and or Isaiah Davis are going to have a bigger roles, I should say, than Breece Hall stakeholders would like. And here's the other thing. Breece Hall had a really hard time against good run defenses last year. He faced 4 run defenses that were top 10 in DVOA against the run. He averaged 34.8 rushing yards per game and 3 yards per carry in those 4 games with 1 touchdown. If I'm drafting a running back in the top 15, I don't want it to be someone I have to think about sitting in tough matchups. So it doesn't feel good to fade Breece Hall. So I'm just sort of gently fading him. His ECR is RB13. I have him at RB14, but I think I'm probably going to be just drafting around Breece Hall this year.
What round are you going to be willing to go after him, Fitz? Like, is there a point where you just say, listen, like, I love the talent, you know, there's going to be running lanes with Justin Fields as the quarterback, like, this is worth the swing? Or are you just saying, like, I'm probably not going to roster any Breece Hall this year?
I'm probably not going to roster him at all, but if it got to the back half of the 4th round and maybe I was going with kind of a 0 RB build, I might consider him there.
What do you think, Debro, on Hall?
I'm with everything that Fitz has. I'm actually fading him harder than Fitz is. Right now in ECR, he's 34th overall player. I've got him as my 53rd overall player, my RB20. The thing for Breece for me is I think he still does lead this backfield in touches. But tell me this, guys. 76, 95 targets over the last 2 years. You think Breece comes anywhere close to sniffing that area code? Like,
really,
we know he's not going to get that. But, like, 60 targets? Is that even happening with Justin Fields as the quarterback? That's my big problem, too. It's like, it's not only the committee stuff. It's, we've seen the efficiency drop off a little bit for Breece, so we have to factor in that. And the checkdowns. Those are, I mean, they're going to be there to an extent because they don't have any receiving weapons. But can we say it's 95 or 76 targets? No way. So I think low end RB2.
That's a great call in the passing usage, G-Bro. Let's stick with you for your first running back bust.
I know this name has been brought up in previous years, and I wasn't on the bandwagon of fading him. I am there this year, and that's Kyren Williams. I understand he was the RB10. I understand he was the Rams do-it-all back last year. This comes down to it's the same reason I was fading Rachaad White last year and the year before. Now, he burned me the previous year. Last year, I was proven right. And this all comes down to when you have an inefficient volume vacuuming running back, unless there's somebody really, really good on the depth chart, yeah, they probably keep the role. That's fine. But when a guy steps in that offers big playability and has talent and can take snaps away from a running back, then we see some of these guys fail. And I worry that's what's going to happen this year for Kyren Williams. And I don't think it's going to be Blake Corum. I think Jarquez Hunter comes in and takes part of the work. And you look at what Kyren did last year. I mean, this guy was top 2 in snap share, opportunity share. He led all running backs in red zone touches. If those things don't happen, which also we do have the Rams adding pass game weapons and a huge one in Devontae Adams, and talking about Kyren Williams, amongst 46 qualifying running backs, this dude was 44th, 37th, and 40th in every single efficiency metric that I care about on a per-touch basis. He's going to lose work this year, and if he loses work, he's not an RB1. He's an RB2 and a shaky one at that.
Do you think Sean McVay cares about, I mean, obviously they drafted Hunter, so he's interested in a more explosive back, but do you think that there's a degree of him that just says, I know the offense works when Kyren Williams is the bell cow, and just kind of keep the train rolling in Los Angeles and just do enough to allow Stafford and those great receivers to shine?
Oh, you mean Kyren's ability to get 5 yards and nothing more? Or do you mean Kyren's ability to be close to the league leader in fumbles? Those abilities?
The fumbles is a good point. I think getting the 5 yards is nothing more. Like, I think there are, I don't know if McVay is one of them. I think there are coaches who are happy with that. They say, like, listen, just like don't lose yards, just kind of keep the train moving. But I don't know if
I think it's telling. Over the last 2 years, they've felt the need to address the backfield in the third and the fourth round. And I also think that the drafting of Jarquez Hunter this year is an indictment not only on just Kyren Williams, but Blake Corum as well.
Fitz, you liked Jarquez Hunter this year. You really liked Blake Corum last year. Do you see Kyren Williams in the same light Debro does?
Yeah, I mean, I have him ranked a little bit higher than Debro does. I've got him at RB12 right now. And I initially had him ahead of Chase Brown. I've reversed course on that. But yeah, like it's hard to turn up your nose at a workhorse running back in a Sean Payton offense. But at the same time, it is really scary that Blake Corum and Jarquez Hunter, two guys who were really good college running backs, are now behind Kyren Williams, who, as Debro points out, has not been a really efficient runner in recent years. So, yeah, I mean, it is kind of a scary situation. I don't think he is an ideal anchor back for 2025. Like, if you're pinning your hopes on him as your hero running back, I think that's kind of a shaky basket.
And we all do remember Cam Akers, right? And Kyren Williams taking over that backfield. We all do remember Darrell Henderson and another player taking over that backfield. Can we really honestly say that we can't see that at all whatsoever for Kyren this year?
Yeah. For me, it's just like I faded Kyren really heavily a year ago, and that burned me. So I am a little more hesitant, but I think the logic all makes a ton of sense, Debro. Fitz, let's go to your next bust.
All right. It is James Cook. And as a rookie in 2022, Cook scored 3 touchdowns. In 2023, he scored 6 touchdowns. In 2024, he scored 18 touchdowns, tied with Derrick Henry for second most in the league. Henry also had 18. Jahmyr Gibbs led the NFL with 20. Over Cook's first 2 years in the league, he scored touchdowns on 2.3% of his touches. Last year, he hit pay dirt on 7.5% of his touches. He more than tripled his touchdown rate from his first 2 years. We know that he's not keeping up that touchdown rate. I mean, James Cook is 190 pounds. He's not a goal line sledgehammer like Derrick Henry. And we know that Josh Allen likes to call his own number when the Bills get close to the goal line. And even with 18 touchdowns, James Cook barely provided RB1 level production last year. He ranked RB10 in half-point PPR fantasy points per game. But perhaps even more concerning than the prospect of touchdown regression, Cook is going into the final year of his rookie contract and wants an extension. And in one of his own social media posts, Cook said he wants $15 million a year. The Bills seem to not want to extend Cook for $15 million a year. I just wonder, like, could there be a holdout in training camp? And even if Cook doesn't hold out, do the Bills possibly give Ray Davis more work this year in anticipation of James Cook walking after the 2025 season? So, like, it's worth remembering that when Cook missed a Week 6 game against the Jets with turf toe last season, Ray Davis played really, really well. 20 carries for 97 yards, 3 catches for 55 yards. So, yeah, there's touchdown regression looming over James Cook and maybe a contract impasse as well. I'm gently fading him. He is, surprisingly, despite all those touchdowns last year, the ECR isn't too crazy right now. It's RB14. I have him ranked RB15, but again, probably just another case where I'm drafting around a talented running back because of the storm clouds on the horizon.
Debro, you keep trying to sell me James Cook in our Dynasty League, so I'm assuming that
Keep
you
trying.
also are trying to fade him here.
I keep trying. Nobody in Dynasty wants any action on James Cook. I have him in a lot of different spots because I bet on the big season incoming if the touchdowns went his way, and they all of that happened, guys. So I understand the fade. I'm with you, Fitzy. I've got him at RB15, so I'm a shade below ECR, and for all the reasons that Fitzy's talking about, and just to add on top of that, man. It's all comes down to touchdowns. That's what fueled everything last year. Because if you look at every other part of what his 2024 resume, it screams regression. Like he was the RB26 in expected fantasy points per game. He had only 4 games, at least 20 touches. So what part of this are you leaning on outside of, okay, it's a really good offense. He could get touchdowns again, but those touchdowns could go other ways. I mean, we could just see the Bills either go with different options in the red zone, go with Josh Allen, Ray Davis. They could pass the ball more this year when they get in close. So either way, if the touchdowns don't happen for Cook, yeah, he's probably a touchdown dependent RB2, and that's not great.
And also, let me add, just as Debro sort of mentioned with Breece Hall, like there's limited pass catching appeal here.
Good
In
call.
a different offense, like Cook could be, he's really good at doing it. And in a different offense, maybe he could catch 50 passes, but it's just not going to happen with Josh Allen because Josh Allen would rather just take off and run himself than dump off to a running back.
That's another really good point, Patty, that because I could also bring up, we haven't even talked about the end of season and playoff emergence of Ty Johnson. Like he taking away any routes, targets, things like that. That's also another ding. So it's not just Ray Davis. Yep. Ty Johnson is also sneaky. Like he might not have a ton of touches, but this all comes down to it's enough to erode away James Cook's fantasy value.
I think it's interesting. We don't really have time to dive deep into it, but I think it's interesting that the first 3 names we've listed so far are ranked RB11, RB13, and RB14. They're all in tier 3 of our early rankings. They're too good to really be in that RB dead zone, I think. But it's interesting that this is an area that we're looking to avoid in terms of potential busts early on. Maybe we can dive deeper into that in a future episode. Debro, we got to get out of here, but take us home with our final bust.
Tier 4 guy, man, it's Aaron Jones. I love Aaron Jones. I was all in on him last year. I'm out this year. 17 games for only the second time in his career. He's coming off a career high 306 touches, and the efficiency, the per touch efficiency has dropped off the map. I mean, this guy was 36th and 40th in explosive run rate and missed tackles forced per attempt. You add in that they added Mason, I can't even speak right now, Jordan Mason to this backfield. Does that take away touchdowns? Is Aaron Jones able to stay healthy? It's question mark after question mark for me with Aaron Jones, and I'm just going to be going in other directions in drafts this year.
Fitz, quick thoughts on Jones?
Yeah, I get it, but he is fairly cheap. He's going as like a mid-range to lower-end RB2, and the Vikings have upgraded the offensive line, and I trust in Kevin O'Connell a lot as a play caller, so I don't have as many beefs with the price as Debro does, but he's certainly at the age at which the bottom could fall out quickly. And maybe it's true that Jordan Mason could be a better fit for that system than Aaron Jones is.
We'll get out of here on that. If you're worried you might reach on the wrong running back early, make sure to check the consensus rankings at fantasypros.com/rankings to see how top analysts are valuing these running backs and all the others. For Debro and Fitz, I'm Ryan Wormeli. Thanks for checking out this short form. We'll see you again next time.